What happens when you take the effortless cool of Italian styling, the brute force of an American V8, and the refined luxury of a British Grand Tourer? You get the Jensen Interceptor, a car that didn't just push boundaries, it completely ignored them. In an era dominated by sleek European sports cars and raw American muscle, this British anomaly stood alone, blending two entirely different automotive worlds into one gorgeous, tire-shredding masterpiece. It was a gentleman's express with the soul of a street fighter, and it remained one of the most fascinating contradictions on wheels. To understand the Interceptor, we have to look at the unique landscape of the late 1960s. The British specialist automaker Jensen Motors needed a flagship that could compete with the world's best, but they didn't want to develop a highly complex, finicky European engine from scratch. Their solution was brilliantly simple. Look across the Atlantic. They sourced massive, rumbling V8 engines from Chrysler, initially the legendary 383 cubic inch block, and later the gargantuan 440 six-pack. This meant that underneath the skin of European sophistication beat the heart of a pure American street fighter. But the Interceptor wasn't just a muscle car in disguise. It dressed the part of a continent-crushing aristocrat. Jensen bypassed traditional British styling houses and commissioned the Italian firm to design the body. The result was a masterclass in grand touring design. It featured a long, commanding hood to house that massive V8, a low and muscular stance, and an utterly unmistakable wraparound glass rear hatchback that looked like something off a fighter jet. The bodies were initially built in Italy before production moved back to Jensen's factory in West Bromwich, England. It was a truly international coalition of automotive passion. Step inside, and the American muscle illusion faded into pure British luxury. The cabin was a cocoon of plush leather, rich wood trim, and a dashboard packed with aircraft-style gauges and toggle switches. It was designed to whisk a driver and 3 passengers from London to the south of France at sustained high speeds and absolute comfort. When you smashed the gas pedal, the Interceptor didn't just scream. It surged forward with a wave of effortless, low-end torque that felt less like a sports car and more like a private locomotive. Jensen didn't stop at just a standard Grand Tourer either. In 1966, they introduced the Interceptor FF, a car that was decades ahead of its time. The FF stood for Ferguson Formula, and it was the world's first production sports car to feature permanent 4-wheel drive and an anti-lock braking system. Long before Audi's Quattro or modern supercars made all-wheel drive cool, this British beast was gripping wet roads with unbelievable tenacity, making it the ultimate all-weather supercar of its era. Sadly, the Interceptor's thirst for fuel and the global oil crisis of the 1970s eventually spelled its doom, and Jensen closed its doors in 1976. Yet the car never truly died. Today, it stands as a towering icon of automotive counterculture. It remains the ultimate answer to what happens when you combine American muscle with British sophistication. You get a timeless, rumbling masterpiece that still commands the fast lane wherever it goes.